If you're in need of escape, then the world's longest wine route from Ikapa to Gqeberha offers every variety. Then again, like travel journalist Jared Rassenberg, many find all they're after in one particular town, Montagu in the Western Cape.
Short drive off the Route 62 and these impressive Cape Fold Mountains create a natural tunnel. I am at the entrance to the Langeberg town of Montagu. Montagu is indeed a hidden gem worth exploring, and some inspiring stories from the locals will help me understand that a bit better.
Some of the best yarns start at this 19th century classic, where tour guide Marcel van Sail gets new arrivals on their bikes and riding.
I moved from Cape Town to Montagu because I wanted to escape the city life, and I needed to find something to do here, and it was just such a natural progression. I offer all sorts of town tours. I try to show people the magic of Montagu through the history tours, art tours. I even have a ghost tour. For those who can't cycle, I also do walking tours. When you're on a bicycle, you feel free, you feel like you're flying, and that's the closest to freedom and flying that I get when I'm on a bicycle. And I love history, and to incorporate bicycles and cycling with the history of the town was just such an easy decision for me.
From bicycles painted by local artists to the proud local footbridge, a creative streak runs through the town's history.
Montagu was established in 1851, and architects always say that Montagu is the best example of what a mid-19th century town would have looked like. So you can expect to see Victorian, Georgian, Cape Dutch, British colonial style houses, and it's definitely the architecture that's the first thing that grabs people's attention. This is a Georgian home from 1886. It's named after King George, so just think of King George, very masculine. That's the square look with a bit of Victorian trimmings to finish it, so quite eclectic, a very typical Montagu style, throw it all together.
The nearest mall is 70 kilometers away, so you instinctively turn to this outdoor amphitheater for your entertainment.
Montagu's natural landscape is just beautiful because when you come here, the whole town is surrounded by mountains. So wherever you are, there's a beautiful view. So people really come to experience nature. You're so close to it. You can go on beautiful hikes, mountain biking, and this is one of the best places in South Africa to come for rock climbing.
If not as old as the hills, then just as pretty is the collection of Cadillac Sedan DeVille, owned by local hotelier PJ Besson. He offered us a ride in his Pride and Joy, built in 1956.
From the moment we drove past the hotel and saw this car parked outside, I knew in an instant I want to go for a drive in it, and here we are. How lucky are we?
Jared, it's a pleasure to have you on board, man. I moved to Montagu in 1999 as a young man just working in a hotel. And I quickly came to realize that a place like this is all about the people that's living here. You know, you're greeted by name in the mornings when you walk down the street, and people actually mean that. They say, have a good day. They want you to have a good day. So I think that honesty and sincerity speaks to me. And then obviously that flows out to whoever's visiting the village. It's a friendly folk that's welcoming you, but also in combination with beautiful surrounding mountainside. The mountains are very close. And that coupled with the hospitality that's offered makes it quite an interesting place to come and stay in, and then also to come and visit.
With the price of petrol and a world moving to electric vehicles, these rides are becoming like time capsules of another age.
American Dream Cars, the concept basically was whenever we had a journalist or an operator visiting, we would take out the Cadillac and take them for a spin to show them Montagu and Route 62. And then one of the Dutch operators said, but you know, I would love to offer this to my clients. And we said, okay, fine, let's do it. And we started just taking them out, wine tasting, olive tasting, showing them what the area's got on offer. And it's been a success ever since.
Drawing on vintage organic farming methods to create a new sustainable permaculture is an idea which Petrus Janssen set out to practice. Then he met and married Liana Muller, and together they're making a real name for their farm.
The name Kochman Casey Kochman refers to the mountain behind us. Kochman it refers to the Kochokwa clan of Khoi people. And Casey is the river that flows along our boundary. Our environment is very important to us, especially because we're living on the foot of the mountain, we're working on the foot of the mountain. So for us, sustainability and working with the environment is very important.
Many times when people come to Kochman and Casey and they inquire about the name, they also think that it's basically I'm Kochman and Diana's Casey.
And as for these goats, they are in fact Damara sheep.
As a farm, we don't only grow fruit and vegetables, but we also have animals. The animals complete the cycle because we're trying to farm naturally and organically. We've got many different crops, and some of the crops we're growing at the moment is broad beans. Broad beans are now at the end of the season, and we're pulling them out to make some space for more heirloom tomatoes.
Pietros have collected 38 different varieties of heirloom tomatoes. So those are tomatoes from all over the world. It's his absolute passion. Every year we're looking forward to the tomato harvest because you've never tasted anything as good as a ripe tomato from this farm.
The 900 or more lavender bushes dried out or distilled into products are also their version of rolling out the red carpet.
At Kochman and Casey, we have a guest house with 5 bedrooms, but then our most wonderful accommodation offering is Mountain View Cottage. Mountain View Cottage consists of 3 bedrooms. It has a beautiful lounge with comfortable couches, a lovely dining area. We specifically maximized views into the mountain because you're sitting literally right on the foot of the mountain.
Here, your wanderlust meets its match in a place where you just want to put your feet up and chill.
The cottage has everything you need. There's almost a rustic farmhouse feel, but still the luxury trappings and everything to make you feel comfortable, including a wood-fired hot tub right on the veranda.
While Jared soaked in natural bath aromas made from surrounding Langeberg fynbos, Liana was out picking sustainable quantities for her products.
Fane Botanicals started right here on the farm. I wanted to provide a soap to our guests that would not only nurture them and be healthy for them to use, but also healthy for our environment. I'm a researcher by profession, and I started dabbling in the world of formulation, and yes, I developed the liquid soap. And the guests loved it so much that I had to make more, and eventually after about 6 months, shops wanted to start stocking it, and from there I started making more and more products. In this journey of studying various plants for their medicinal properties, what I found that the plants that has the most medicinal properties are the pioneer plants. It's the plants that grow in disturbed soils, and it's the plants that they add to the soil, they bind soil, but they also provide a microclimate for other plants to re-establish and grow again. So the plants that heal us are also the plants that heal the environment.
As a bachelor, Petrus saw off floods and fires to establish a successful farm, and now his wife is taking it next level.
Welcome to the Fane Botanicals workshop. Did you sleep well last night?
Very peacefully, thank you, and woke up to the air full with the fragrance of fynbos, which brings us here. What are we doing today?
We are going to make our famous fynbos body scrub and soak. This morning I picked a number of plant species for you, and they all grow on the farm. I started with lavender, and then I also picked some geranium, pelargonium really, and it has the most wonderful rosy and comfort scent. I also picked renosterbos. This plant has been traditionally used as a stomach tonic. And then we also have helichrysum. This plant is highly antimicrobial and highly antibacterial, and this is specifically then also why we are using it as a relaxant in our body scrub. This is Tyronia. It's very good for yeast infections. And then here I have Collionema. It's also called confetti bush. And confetti bush is a plant used in many gardens nowadays, but it's also a wonderful plant for skincare.
The basis of this rub consists of Epsom salts mixed together with sea salt, and then Liana's signature blend of essential oils.
All the drawings on the bottles I made myself. This is an olive leaf. This one I actually drew long before Fane was established. I drew it specifically for our olive oil bottles. As I was drawing it, the message I received was, this is hope. It's hope for a new beginning.
What pioneer plants are to the local ecosystem, resident mavericks of the tourism industry are to the sustainable life of the town. Local businesses support one another to make Montagu a powerhouse little economy which punches way above its weight. And restaurateur Richard Vilas is proud of their achievements.
The destination is made up of a couple of things. One is we're a winery. Number two, we have an area that overlooks what I call the Field of Dreams, and that's your daytime use. And at night, I have created this fire kitchen, which is highly colored with multiple colors. A lot of antiques. I've got a bar in here that was made in 1915 in Paris. It's really important today to have an open interface between customers, chefs, and waiters. And people can see really the production taking place at the same time. What I really try to do is create a destination. Today, eating, entertaining, and that type of joy that people look for is all about lifestyle. So I'm trying to create a lifestyle experience where people will spend time here, not just coming for a meal and leaving.
This experience combines the charm of a heritage farmstead with global inspiration in design, food, and entertainment that combines the best of New York, Paris, and of course, Montagu's finest.
So I've chosen people here that are singers. The reason for that is that when I came here, people were saying, please don't take my stuff from the other restaurants and that. And I wanted to have a different spin on what I was doing. I wanted to have a little bit more of a social integration into the community. I didn't look for experience. I looked for people who had voices.
The crew and I, we do 3 solos and a group song. We all sing for the love of it and the passion for music, but for the experience that the guests have when they come to visit Blue Vines.
The broader harmony is how local farms, hotels, wineries, pub stalls, and tour guides are all singing from the same hymn sheet.
When people travel and they arrive in these beautiful historic towns, there is sometimes a bit of a gap between the way the world's moving to where the town is. And I have great faith in small towns, in the future of this country. Your new future concepts are going to come from here. Your new businesses are going to come from small towns.
There is opportunity everywhere if you care to look, and it drives through the middle of this Karoo success story every day.
Thanks for joining me as I've explored Montagu, and I hope that you've also been reminded that in South Africa, sometimes the biggest adventures are to be had in the smallest of towns.
To escape the conventional to a fantastic new take on our country, get on the R62 and drive.